Okay, in this video we're going to talk about shape tweening. Shape tweening is only works on stage level objects. So it doesn't work on symbols. You have to work on the stage level. And what it does is it morphs objects from one shape to the next. So for example, let's go ahead and I'll grab a square. And I don't have a stroke, just have a fill. And I'll just draw a big square. And then I'm going to center that with the align tool in the middle of the canvas. And then let's say that over a period of time, let's say over 1 second, so at frame 24, I will add a blank keyframe by hitting F7. And now you'll see that that object disappears. And what I want to do is I want to grab a different object and maybe even a different color. So let's say I choose a blue color. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw this parallelogram, and I'm going to put that into pentagram, actually, put that into the center. So we have a timeline that goes from frame 1 to frame 24, and you'll see that we start with a square, and we morph into this pentagram. So right now nothing's happening. There's no animation that's happening between the two. So to enable a shape tween, I'm going to right click or control click anywhere between frame 1 and 24, and I'm going to choose create shape tween. So you'll see that Adobe Animate takes into consideration the points, and it will morph the shapes from one to the next. Now, unfortunately, what's happening here is it doesn't look like we expected. So what Adobe Animate does is it calculates the transition based on points. So we can improve this animation by adding shape pens. So if let's see, transform. Here it is. So if you go to modify to shape to add shape hint, you're going to get a shape hint. It's going to be, the shape hints are going to be by letter. So at frame 1, I have a letter, and I also have the same letter on frame 24. So that gives me one shape. Now look what that did. And so we need to add more shape hints. So modify shape, add shape hint. Now I get B, and I'll go ahead and set B up. While we're here, I'll go ahead and add more shape hints. And the keyboard shortcut is Command Shift H. And I'm doing this kind of in a clockwise pattern on purpose. So that's where I want my shape hints to go. And then one more shape hint, because there's a difference between the number of points in the square and then the pentagram. Let's see what this does. It's still breaking. So now we have to arrange. So this is B. Actually, that's E. This is D. This is C. And this is B. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give Adobe Animate the points in the right sequence so that I get a better animation. So let's see the order A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E. So this is kind of what happens with these shape tweens, depending on what you're looking for. I mean, this might be a good effect for you, but it might not also be what you've expected. Now you can do this with any stage level object, so it doesn't have to be squares or pentagrams like this. The other thing that I want to point out is that not only is the shape changing and morphing, but also the color transition is taking place. Notice that I started off with a dark green object, I ended up with this blue object, and that transitions as well. So the shape morphs and also color changes morph as well. Okay. So go ahead and play with that and do some experimentation. Where would you need this? You might need this for, small changes in objects. More complex objects with more points, obviously it's gonna be variable in terms of the quality that you get. So keep that in mind.